What's up, it's Skyro. Welcome back to the channel. I am super pumped to bring you today some box breaks for Commander Masters. Right here we have a set booster box, and next to it we have a Commander Masters collector booster box. I'm going to be doing 2 set boosters and then 1 Commander Masters collector booster at the very end. If you like the channel, please hit that thumbs up, consider subscribing to see more content like this, and tune in on Friday for a video about all of my top picks for Commander Masters. So, let's get to it. Alright, so let's open up our first set booster from Commander Masters. This set is out August 4th, so be watching for it. Alright, here we are. Saproling Token. Wonder what makes that. Lotleth Giant. Common, 7 mana, 6/5 Undergrowth. When it enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to target opponent for each creature in your graveyard. Reanimator effects like that. Okay, sweet common. This is a draftable set, by the way, so if you're intending on drafting it, a lot of these commons could actually matter. Ooh, Heroic Intervention. Next card is a rare. Heroic Intervention is clutch if you're playing green. Give all your permanents hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. Stop a board wipe. I'm into that. Next is Wake the Dead. This is a rare as well. Double black, X, cast a spell only during combat on an opponent's turn, and return X target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sacrifice those creatures at the beginning of the next end step. So you could bring back a bunch of stuff whenever they attack you, block everything, get all your enter the battlefield effects from all your creatures in the graveyard, and then sacrifice them if you have any sacrifice triggers. That's a sweet card in the right deck. Next we have Miri Weatherlight Duelist. This is Selesnya mana plus 1 generic for 3/2 legendary creature. Can be a commander, cat warrior, first strike. Whenever she attacks, each opponent can't block with more than 1 creature this combat. And if it's a creature with 3 toughness, you don't want to block this anyway. And as long as Miri Weatherlight Duelist is tapped, no more than 1 creature can attack you each combat. So forget the swing back. They're not going to hit you back with more than 1 thing. We have an uncommon here, Eudora Grave Gardener, 5 mana for a 5/5 Tree Folk Druid. It is legendary as well. When another non-token creature you control dies, you may return it to the battlefield face down under its owner's control, and it's a forest land, so it makes all of your dying creatures into forests. That's cool for ramp. Heartless Act. Originally printed in Throne of Eldraine, I believe. This was a staple in the standard format. 2 mana, destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. Very good for X creatures like Hydras and things. Oh, this is a nice nostalgia hit. Beanstalk Giant from Throne of Eldraine. 7 mana, Star, has the adventure, Fertile Footsteps. 3 mana, search your library for a basic land card, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Then you can cast this from exile, and it has power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. I remember playing against this in standard. Hunter's Insight, 3 mana at uncommon instant. Choose target creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn, draw that many cards. Alright, needs a little bit of setup with a huge creature, but cool payoff. Tuskguard Captain. This is a common, 3 mana, 2/3 human warrior, Outlast green. So green, tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, Outlast only as a sorcery. So his ability of a mana sink once, right? Oh no, you can do it multiple times. Only as a sorcery, and just put a counter on itself. And each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter has trample. Good in a counters deck, maybe Selesnya. Unbounded Potential, 2 mana for a common instant. Choose one, put a +1/+1 counter on each to up to 2 target creatures. Proliferate. Entwine 4. Choose both if you pay the entwine cost. So 2 mana, like I said, Selesnya counters deck. Nice. Put a counter on up to 2 target creatures, or if you already have enough counters, proliferate. Do both if you entwine. Knighted Mirror, 3 mana, 2/2 Mirror Knight artifact creature. 3 mana to adapt 1. If it has no counters on it, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And when 1 or more +1 counters are put on Knighted Mirror, it gains double strike till end of turn. That's interesting because you can adapt at instant speed. Very nice. Attack, block, and then all of a sudden they're blocking a 3/3 double strike. Enoch Bondkin, 2 mana for a 2/1 dog soldier with Outlast again, and each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter has first strike. Seeing a pattern here. Campfire, 1 generic mana for an artifact, 1 mana tap it, gain 2 life, 2 mana tap it, exile it, put all commanders you own from the command zone and from your graveyard into your hand, then shuffle your graveyard into your library. So I guess if your commander dies like 4 times and you can't pay the tax on it, you get rid of Campfire, put it in your hand, and you can pay it. Faithless Looting, nice. Nice red looting spell. 1 red mana. Draw 2 cards, discard 2, flashback for 3. What's that flavor? If they didn't want me to steal this, they should have used more than 7 layers of shatterproof anti-magus glass. And, ooh, a nice retro mountain foil. All right, let's get into this second set booster. That was a pretty good one. We were opening it up and just seeing all kinds of rares right off the top. Very nice. What do we have here? Servo token, 1/1 artifact creature. Commander's Sphere foil, 3 generic artifact. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Sacrifice Commander's Sphere. Draw a card. Always a classic. Vault of Champions, rare. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. In Commander, that is not an issue at all. So it's a dual land untapped. Nice. Sublime Exhalation, 7 mana, sorcery, Undaunted. It costs 1 less to cast for each opponent and destroy all creatures. So 7 mana, 3 opponents, 4 mana. Alright, sounds good. Kaikar, Wind's Fury, Jeskai mana and 1 colorless for a bird wizard legendary creature, can be your commander. 3/3 flying. When you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying and sacrifice a spirit. Add red mana. Nice for token builds, nice for Jeskai's spells, and then if you want to have a huge spell to go off, just sacrifice all your spirits and add a bunch of red mana. No problem. Ghost of Ramirez Di Pietro, 3 mana, uncommon, legendary spirit pirate, 2/3, can't be blocked by creatures with toughness 3 or greater. When Ghost of Ramirez Di Pietro deals combat damage to a player, choose up to 1 target card in a graveyard that was discarded or put there from the library this turn. Put that card into its owner's hand. And it has Partner. Cool little build around commander. Loyal Unicorn, 4 mana for a 3/4 Vigilance Lieutenant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to creatures you control this turn. Other creatures you control gain Vigilance until end of turn. That seems like something the Unicorn would do. A very loyal one at that. Wait a minute. We have the Loyal Unicorn. Now we have the Loyal Drake, also with Lieutenant. Flying at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, draw a card. Hey, all you have to do is get your commander out and keep your commander out and draw an extra turn at the beginning of combat. That's nice. Gourmand, 6 mana, 5/5 uncommon. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Black doesn't mind doing that though. Flying Trample, 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, they have to sacrifice a creature. So best used whenever they have only their commander out or some beast that they put out. No problem. Thriving Bluff comes in tapped. Choose a color other than red. Tap it to add red or 1 mana of the chosen color. Thriving Isle, same deal for blue. Thriving Moor, same deal for black. Thriving Heath, same deal for white. Okay. And Murmuring Mystic, 4 mana, 1/5. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue bird illusion creature token with flying. Too bad it's not a spirit, so you can't use it with that other Jeskai commander. Kemba, Ka Regent. We have a profile art here. This is new in Commander Masters. Select cards are getting these profile arts, which are gorgeous. Double white, 1 generic cat cleric, 2/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 2/2 white cat creature token for each equipment attached to Kemba, Ka Regent. And cool retro planes. Alright, and the moment has arrived. Let's get into the collector booster for Commander Masters. Of course, our token starts off as a foil. We have a core soldier. That is beautiful art. Okay? That's just stunning. Turn it around. Pollen Bright Druid, common foil. 2 mana, 1/1 elf druid. When it comes into the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature or proliferate. Sulphurous Blast, 2 red mana, 2 generic. Instant, 2 damage to each creature and each player. If you cast a spell during your main phase, does 3 damage to each creature and each player. So you can be sneaky with it, or you can say, nah, just 3 damage to everything. Heartpiercer Bow, 2 generic for an artifact equipment. When the equipped creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. Good for getting rid of little troublesome 1/1s with really, really good effects. Witching Well, foil common. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2, sacrifice it for 4 mana, draw 2 cards. Herald of the Host, double white, 3 generic for an angel. Flying Vigilance, 4/4. Not bad for a 5-drop. Let's see what Myriad is. When this creature attacks for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of this creature that's tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. Exile the tokens at the beginning of combat. That's pretty sick. Without Myriad, I'm like, not really, but if you attack somebody, create 2 other copies that get to attack your other opponents and then go away. Sweet. Nemata Grove Guardian. Double green, 4 generic for a Tree Folk legendary creature to uncommon, 4/5. 3 mana, create yourself a 1/1 green Saproling. Sacrifice a Saproling. Saproling creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. So you can swing with all of your little Saprolings, and they don't block one. You just sacrifice all the other ones and make the one huge that they don't block. Cool foil retro planes. Path of Ancestry. Full art. Enters the battlefield tapped. Add 1 mana of any color to your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. Thran Dynamo. 4 generic, tap to add 3 colorless mana. Good for Tron and Eldrazi decks. Reality Shift. 1 blue, 1 generic for an instant. Exile target creature. Its controller manifests the top card of their library. Carador Ghost Chieftain, Abzan mana and 5 generic for a total of 8 rare, 3/4 legendary Centaur Spirit with gorgeous art. Costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. Abzan kind of likes that. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard. And Queen Marchesa. This is Mardu and 1 generic mana, 3/3 legendary creature, Death Touch, haste. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent is the monarch, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch and haste. What a nasty, that's a nasty card. And Rise of the Eldrazi, full art, 3 colorless, 9 generic mana, cannot be countered. Destroy target permanent. Target player draws 4 cards, take an extra turn after this one, and exile Rise of the Eldrazi. That's a bomb. And we have another gorgeous profile card here. Jeskai mana and 1 generic for a total of 4. Bird Wizard, legendary creature, 3/3 flying. Oh, when you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, sack a spirit, add red mana. That's our second one of those, but this is our first profile one. And Balefire Dragon. Look at that art. That is a full art foil Balefire Dragon. Double red, 5 generic, 6/6 flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, deals that much to each creature that player controls. So that is the video for Commander Masters. I hope you enjoyed this video and these box breaks. We got some pretty nice cards in here. If you like the video, please hit that thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.